So I want it to be known right now that this is definitely a stretch goal, but I'm extremely happy with what I've been doing right now. Again, this is a stretch goal, but as you can see right here, I was having a nice conversation with ChatGPT, and based off the data that I already have from these past few months, I kind of think I can probably hit 4% per week, which would be 669% annually compounded, assuming I don't take any withdrawals, which obviously I plan on taking a ton of withdrawals, but we can talk about the withdrawal things later. But for now, my stretch goal is 4% a week, which is 669% annually, assuming I compound 100%. And you'll see that it's not too far from what I just been doing these past month already and leading up to today. So let's go through this a little bit. So obviously we're not starting with a dollar, but started April 6th, starting balance is $29,000. Right now I'm at 38.6, which means I made $9,000 or 33% in 10.5 weeks, which is right now I'm averaging 2.7 to 2.8. Now when we get to my actual dashboard, you'll see I started, conservatively, and I started ramping up, as the months went by. So obviously I started small and ended up with a bigger account. So the average is still pretty low, even though these last month I was averaging around 3 to 3.5%. So my new goal, 4%, still trading the same two ticker symbols, and I might add UPRO and QQQ and SPY to it, depending on, my flavor, I guess. So to do that, I got to average somewhere around $100 to $130 per contract, which will kind of get me to the 4%, which we'll go over the math as soon as I open up the actual account. So we're not doing any long calls just yet, but obviously when I do long calls and poor man cover calls, that 4% a week will be a lot easier. Right now, we're just strictly talking about selling premium. So according to the 4%, if I reinvest 100%, in the next 6 months, I'll have 100,000. The next year, I have 250. 15 months, 500, and 19 months from, I think it's from today, I'll be at 1 million, or it could be 19 months from April 1st or April 6th. But either way, 19 months. Trust me, I'm okay with that. Like, my goal is 50% a year. So hitting 200 or compounded 669, I'll be more than happy with that. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it. So based off my last few weeks, is this possible? So we already know I'm hitting around 2.7, 2.8 because I started conservatively. But you can see right here, you showed the last few weeks 3.3, 3.6, 3.67, which is the last 3 weeks. And then I did have 1 week where I didn't trade at all, but it's not including that. So still for the last month, I average around 3.5%. So we'll see. Again, a stretch goal, 4%. But as long as I get somewhere around 2.5 on the weekend and 4.5 on the higher end, I'll still average around 3.7%. So I think that's pretty much it. Now let's go to the actual dashboard so you can see where I'm getting these numbers from. And then let me change it to dark mode. So this is just an export. And usually I do April 6th, but I think I was going too fast. I did April 7th. I really started on the 7th anyway. But I know I deposit everything on April 6th, so this ain't gonna change nothing, just being off by 1 day. So 32% of the way to 100% of my capital recovery, aka I've made 29,200. So I'm 32% of the way there, which means I'm also 32% of the way to my goal of 50%. So technically, actually, I'm 64% 0.8. So I'm only $5,000 away, which is for me about a month or so. Here's the chart, and as you can see, this is the day we had that big drop, which barely affected my account at all because primarily I'm 100% cash. So when the market does drop, usually is when I want to spend majority of my money. But I'm not just gonna leave my money in cash, even though the market's trending up. I'll still make some plays, just not as aggressive. So as of right now, projected to make 203% non-compounded. which is 243% per day, which will leave my account at $88,000, assuming, I don't take any withdrawals and technically I don't compound as much. If I was a compound, then we'll be at 107,000. And then if I did take some withdrawals, which I plan on taking some out, like $1,500, that'll still leave me at $80,000. But I don't even think I'll take out $1,500 a month. To be honest with you, I don't have to touch this account if I don't need to. So over the past 30 days, I'm set to hit $50,000 in the next 8 weeks. 100K in 29, 250 and 57, and a million in 99, which would be 2028 of May. So these numbers are always going to change, especially if I switch to trying to average 4%. And now let's get to that. So right now I'm averaging $860, and that's because that down week I didn't trade at all. But as you can see, the last few weeks, so this week I hit 3.27, which was around $1,200. The previous week, which was a down week, I didn't really trade at all. All I did was just roll over some contracts. And then the first week of June, 3.7, which is 1,400. And then the last week of May, 1,200, 3.3. So the last 4 weeks, you can see, ramped up from the starting week of. Wait, why is it April 27th? We might have to fix that, but hold on. Let me see if I can fix that right now. So I'm just going to do a new export from April 6, 2026, when I started this account, to today. Let's just go to export that. Now upload it to my dashboard right now. Actually, I just figured out why it's doing that. But quick summary is because this doesn't show the full history. Otherwise, it'll make the web page loading time slow. So I'll edit that. But for now, it's only showing from April 27th. But next week, by the time I fix it, I'll have tabs so I can switch between the time frames so we can see everything. But yeah, so as we know, this started April 6th is when I deposit everything. And then now, for whatever reason, showing my December because on that export, I didn't actually refresh it. So let me fix that now. Sorry about this. Okay. Got the actual export now. So all the numbers the same. I just made sure I didn't do all. I did actually from when I deposited money because I had 2 cents in here for forever. But again, so far in June, I'm at $3,000. We got one more week of June. So maybe I can hit another $1,000 this week, assuming, I don't even know. I guess assuming everything goes my way is what we all hope. Everything goes our way. But so far in 2026, I'm at 25% from April 6th. So here's what I did over the past week from June 15th. So premium collected 185, 422, 1100, and 144. This $1,100 that I collected is because I did a FAR TNA for 731, so about 43-ish days out. So we'll see how that one plays out. It's at $80 and TNA is only at like $70. So I'm doing some experimenting. Obviously, it's very aggressive. And if you don't know how options work, then obviously don't follow along. But just showing you everything I did. And obviously, this past week, me just closing out some of the options. So now let's get to the actual dashboard. I'm using the web version right now because I don't actually have the desktop version downloaded on this PC. So to hit 4%, so right now TQQ is at $82. Like I said,